3, 2, 1. Good listening. Now, just because you're sitting next to your friends doesn't give you an excuse to chatter, okay? My name is Mr. Grant Buse. Welcome to Sex Ed 101 101. Now, of course, over the course of this intercourse course, we will be revising some of the things you've already covered in Sex Ed. We'll be discussing some of the things we might have missed. And I think by the end we'll all agree that there's nothing sexy about a dick pic. Okay? Now, you know, it's been a while since lessons, I get that. But you should have already covered chapters 1 through to 5. That's male anatomy, female anatomy, repression, shame, and periods. Tonight we're going to cover chapters 6 through to 9, okay? Now I hope you've done your pre-reading, 6 to 9? 6 to 9? You two, 6 to 9? No? Alright, well, just so we're all on the same page, you know, let's just do a bit of a recap. This is how we do it. You see, when I was a little tyke, before I learned all the ways to rock this mic, I was curious. I questioned things. The more answers I got, the more question brings. Hey mum, where do babies come from? And why does daddy say he wants to bang you like a drum? She paused for a minute, sat me on her knee and said, Grant, we need to talk about the birds and the bees. Birds and the bees, sing it! The birds and the bees, birds and the bees. This is how we do it. Let's start with the key observation. Birds lay eggs, that's an all agree for ovulation. But mum offers some clarification. What do bees have to do with ejaculation? Cause I don't want no generalization, education about procreation, want clear communication. So tell me more about fertilization. This interpretation has no correlation. Go! So the bee is the pollen collector. They find no flowers, she'll do the sack all and nectar. And on his quest for his next beehive, he brings girl pollen in contact with guy. So bees and ticks that come and go as they please, get what they want, plant the seed and just leave. Is that the lesson I should take away? That a girl gives me honey, I don't have to stay. Cause I got wings, I got the power. Not tied to the ground, I found the next best flower. You probably think I'm being preachy in this rap, but what you learn as a kid, it almost always comes back. Why are we scared? So scared to have a real conversation. Talk to our kids without reservation, please. It's all better when it's coming from you instead of finding it online from flipping God knows who. I'm sick of metaphors, similes, analogies. Let's talk about sex. Fuck the birds and the bees. Birds and the bees. Yeah. The birds and the bees. Birds and the bees. Birds and the bees. Yeah. Birds and the bees. Birds and the bees. Birds and the bees. This is how we do it. And even change has become apparent. So this is how I do it if I was a parent. Boys with penis, girls a vagina. Later on tonight they're gonna find each other. And when you get excited, your vagina will get wet, or your penis will get hard, and then it's time to get it on. Mom gets on. You understand what it means when you're done. So here's the mechanics of how sex works. Boys, put your penis right between where she twerks. The vagina, or the anus too. But you gotta be prepared, cause there may be poo. Now boys give you with boys, or girls give you with girls, or somewhere in between. This is a liberated world now. This is the easy part. Why couldn't it be taught by mum and dad right from the start? You go in and out, in and out, in and out, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you come inside, and that's what it's all about, folks. Come on. Birds and the bees, yeah. The birds and the bees, birds and the bees, the birds and the bees. Now help me out. When I say penis, you say vagina. Penis, vagina. Penis, vagina. When I say vagina, you say penis. Vagina, penis. Vagina. Penis. When I say testes, you say vulva. Testes, vulva. Testes, vulva. When I say commitment, you say commitment. Commitment. When I say appears you have a lot to learn about the birds and the bees. Birds and the bees. Sing it. This is how we do it. All right, settle down, settle down. Bottoms on seats, top see me after class. Look, you've all come here tonight because you are unsatisfied with the sex education you received as a child. There's a hole in your knowledge and you would like me to fill your hole. Look, and I know the subject matter... Look, I know the subject matter here tonight can be quite hard and I've been known to get quite deep. But I assure you, when I talk about sex, I will not beat around your bush. Now, look, it's a very intimate setting here tonight. That's okay. I like it. It just means it's easy to remember names at the post-show practical assessment. Okay? And I tell you what, on a personal note, thank you for selling out this night. I like my audiences like I like my penis, crammed inside a tight space. Now, look, some of you might be wondering, like, what are some of my credentials as a sex educator? Okay, well, this is my night job. This is what I do. I'm a musician, cabaret, comedian, performer. In the day, I'm actually work at schools. Back in Australia, I used to work at a special needs school, and my job was to teach music and sex ed. Yeah! And the sex ed they got a little bit different to what we experienced, maybe, but it's all about keeping these kids safe. And that's what I want to do for you tonight, is create a safe environment where you feel comfortable enough with me to have the talk. Here in my sex dungeon. Do you like what I haven't done with the place? Nothing says safe sex like walking down a padded, soundproof staircase. But look, one of the most interesting things about my job back in Oz was I worked with predominantly kids that were diagnosed on the autism spectrum. So one of the challenges they have is reading social cues. So the sex ed that I was doing was very much rooted in consent and boundaries and appropriate behaviour in different situations with different people. You know, the training Trump never got. But I noticed something. I think it's amazing that they got that education, but I noticed something in that first song. I said, when I say no, you say yes. And I just wanted to just check something. Now, just answer this question 100% honestly, okay? Do you, just raise your hand if you remember being formally taught at school about informed consent. Okay, look around. Okay. Now, please raise your hand if you remember being formally taught at school how to use one of these. Now, granted, it did teach me how to finger and blow, okay? Look, I'm not trying to revolutionize the education system here, but what do you think, which skill does society need more? Informed consent or this? Take that, Tim Lynch. So it appears to me that we have some holes in our knowledge, and what I want to do tonight is kind of create a bit of a discussion among this class, okay? So I'm going to open up the floor. I'm just going to ask a question. I want you to shout out an answer. This show works like sex. It's better with two-way communication, okay? So the question is, what do you wish you were taught in sex ed? What would have been useful as an adult? Just shout out. First thing that comes to your head. Go.
G-spot.
Somewhere off the back. G-spot. That's a very valid point. Male or female?
Both.
Both. Okay. Well, male is often referred to. You can it's can either be the gooch, which is the piece of skin between the ball sack, or the anus, or in females, or it can be the prostate. In females, it's kind of like it's up and then back, a little rough there. Yeah, aim for there, you'll find it. Okay, so G-spot. Anyone else? So, what do you wish you were taught in sex ed? Go. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, uncomfortable. Just.
Most women can't orgasm from penetrative sex.
Sorry, most women can't orgasm from penetrative sex.
Yeah.
That's true. You should be up here. It's very. Yeah, okay, you know that is true. That is very true. I'm going to come back to that. And well, one more. So orgasming, G-spot. Anyone else? One more. Trust me, it makes the next song a lot funnier.
Erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction. All right. Okay, that's good. Look, I think this is important. I think questioning and talking about sex is a really important thing. And so I think it's important that we constantly question, because sex is intrinsically linked to the big question, the ultimate question: where do I come from? Where do I come from? Why am I here? There's gotta be an answer. Couldn't just appear. Wouldn't it be amazing if all the questions we had as kids were just answered straight away? I wonder what that would look like. Where do I come from? Your mum's vagina. Why am I here? Dad's got to pull out. There's gotta be an answer. Couldn't just appear. Actually took 9 months gestation and a very painful C-section. While I feel normal, sure is. Why do I like big bums? Subconscious sign of fertility. Is this just another phase? Soon overcome. No. Someone watching over, depends what position. Judging from above or behind, am I right, mate? Yeah! What is this white stuff it's singing? And what is love? It's a chemical imbalance in the brain that causes people to kill each other. It's funny because it's true. Do you like this acoustic vibe I've got going? It's like the reverse of 50 Shades of Grey. I'm unplugged. Why do I feel happy? No one knows. When I touch my willy, that's why. And why does it get smaller every time it's chilly? Actually, when it's cold, your brain sends signals to your scrotum and your penis to shrivel, drawing your testicles closer to your body's warmth to maintain an optimum temperature for sperm production. It's not funny, but it's educational, right? What's the meaning of life? No one knows. Is it 42? Obscure reference, I'm glad I kept it in. Nerd. Can you get an STI from sitting on the loo? Toilet note? Guy named Blue? Maybe. So many questions, but is ignorance bliss? I don't know. Ask the UKIP supporter. Can a vagina fit a whole feast? Can a vagina fit a whole feast?
Yes!
Yeah. Oh, I'd shake your hand, but I know where it's been. So we had G-spot, we had orgasm,
and we had erectile dysfunction. Okay. So I've done some of my questions, I want to do some of yours, alright? I want to learn more about sex. How did I grow in my mum's tum? And how no one told me that from penetrative sex I can't come. Alright, here we go. Doing impro is hard. It requires lots of concentration. But by doing... But I liked when I found my G-spot from masturbation. Yeah! Alright, this next one's going to be hard. Anyway. So where do I come from? Why am I here? There's gotta be an answer. Couldn't just appear. In Australia, so go back another 20 years. Now, and then my mum, she was a Sunday school Bible teacher in church. So religion had a very big impact on my childhood. So much to the point that when my granddad died, I didn't masturbate for 2 years because someone told me he was watching over me. I wish that was a joke. Which is why for the last 15 I've been playing a lot of catch-up. Which, by the way, is a completely healthy and natural thing to do. Okay, so for the men in the crowd and people with a prostate, it's actually very, a few studies have been showing that if you ejaculate every day, it actually lowers your risk of prostate cancer. Yeah. So go nuts, or shaft, or tip, whatever works for you. Ladies, have a ball. But I did get some sex ed at school, but it wasn't called sex ed. It was called the reproductive system. Who had that? Yeah? Biology, PE, economics, maybe. Look, it's a very cold, bland, very anatomical, baby-making focused way to teach sex. And sure, that's important. But it's like taking a cooking class and only learning how the oven works, but not how to turn it on. Right? And, look, I learned in Year 9 biology, the reproductive system, and my teacher was Mr. Perry. Now, before Mr. Perry was a science teacher, he was actually a sailor in the Navy. So, I got taught sex by a seaman. Meta. But I did learn a few things from Captain Perry, and I put them into a song. Would you like to hear that song? Yeah. Ow, 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 ow! Alright, who are you and why are you in my loop pedal?
Oh, it's me, silly. Grant, from the past.
Right, so you're me from the past, like when I was a kid, and you've somehow time-travelled into my loop pedal to attend this adult sex ed class. Alright, I hope the audience goes along with it.
Well, Mr. Buse, I have a question about sex.
Sure.
I want to be more attracted to women, so I can have lots of sex. So my question is, does size really matter?
Straight to the big one. What did Mum always say?
Never dream big.
Yeah. Look, penises and vaginas, they come in all different shapes and sizes. It's a real bell-end curve, okay? It's not really about size, it's more about finding the glove that fits perfectly, okay? You don't want another case of O.J. Simpson and it doesn't fit, alright? But you can still get off. Thank you, sir. What I'm trying to say is you can't drive a semi-trailer through a McDonald's drive-through. You might be able to make it fit, but it ruins it for everyone else in line. Okay. But look, what I'm trying to say, Grant, is like, you may think that size matters, but if you want to make a great first impression, this is what you need to do. First of all, ignore Mum, grow your hair out long. Great icebreaker.
Stay healthy, wash your junk nightly. Apart from that, some people will be into you and some people won't. And you need to learn to be okay with that, Grant. Grant? Grant?
Ow!
Sorry.
Oh, but there's got to be something I can do.
You could eat celery like every day.
Yuck!
Oh, grow up.
Oh, now you sound like Mum.
Choosing to ignore that. Look, when you eat celery, it actually releases androstenone and androstenone odor molecules into your mouth. Now, androstenone is an aphrodisiac, kind of like rhino horn or oysters or your best friend's mum. Now, when those molecules in your system, they stimulate arousal, turning you on, which makes your body send off scents and signals or pheromones, which make you physically more attracted to the opposite sex. So hypothetically, if you ate enough celery, it could help you get laid, and that's how you make kids eat their vegetables. Hey! See, you are going to learn something from your biology class, Grant, but not what matters. Yeah.
Why?
Oh, well, Year 9 biology class will just teach you that sex is this biological urge. We're evolved animals, and it's just to continue the species.
Why?
Well, to continue the species.
Why?
Look, there's a little animal in all of us, and I'm not talking about that gerbil.
Ow!
Look, Grant, if sex, put it this way, if sex was such a primal instinct, why do we even need to learn about it in the first place? Why is it so awkward when it should be so au naturel? What separates us from the animals, the birds, and the bees? So here's a song about animal sex. Cool. Baby, and nothing but mammals. Remember when we do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel. See, when I was young, I was a fan of the nature documentary. So pretend I knew more about animal sex than humans at elementary school. But I'm no fool trying to figure out what's going on in my gene pool. How to spread my seed to a new generation. But first I need to learn about human fornication. Please tell me, is it anything like the animals that I see on TV? Cause if it is, then sex is gross. Well, you be the judge if I'm being overly morose. See, humans were afraid to get pantless. So tears ain't nothing compared to the male praying mantis. When the lady has had her fill yet, and she's done in bed, she rolls over and eats the male's head. Yeah, that's what I said. It puts a whole new meaning to give the girl head. And this next one will probably make you bark. I just hope human sex is nothing like the giraffe. See, when the male is trying to choose a mate, he headbutts the butt of the girl to make her urinate. He has a mouthful and if he thinks it's tasty, then he knows for sure that it's found his lady. To assert his power, take her flower, all because of one yummy, yummy golden shower. I'm so glad to be human. I'm so glad to be human. Evolution set motion. The hardest thing that we have to deal with is human emotion. Hey, since we're talking about the birds and the bees, let's talk about how honeybees get their honeys. Honey, when a virgin queen is sexually mature, she chooses several sexes. Rooms good as they fly around, they try to get down and say sex in the air's better than the ground. All the ladies in the crowd will know that sound. Anyway, the male drone moans. He's ready to blow his load. Then something strange happened. His testicles explode and his penis snaps off inside the deflowered queen. If you know what I mean. And then he dies. So let's hip-hop over to the hippopotamus whose main ritual was really bound to make a lot of fuss and have it so vile you'll need to discuss your disgust of this promise superfluous hippo lust. See, when male finds a lady he wants to impress, he shits himself and makes a stanky pheromone, yeah. And then he gets his tail and Bluey starts to fling, and the second girl likes it, then they might have a fling. Took a whole new meaning to give the girl a ring. I'm so glad to be human. I'm so glad to be human. Evolution set motion. The hardest thing that we have to deal with is human emotion. See, I think we've evolved past all this primal gross stuff. Except for this guy, you dirty fucker. Do you think the only thing really standing in our way of a healthy sex life is our brains, or these emotions in my head trying to get the girl in bed, or predicting what I said between the lines I haven't read? I know it's clear in headlights. Am I being too polite? Won't you listen to my plight? Am I doing this right? What's philosophy, biology, chemistry, psychology? Can't keep up with ever-changing anthropology, cause you and me, baby, enough of a mammal. So why do we really do it on Discovery Channel? At this point of the show, I'd just like to remind everyone no refunds. I'm so glad to be human. I'm so glad to be human. Evolution's in motion. Hardest thing that we have to deal with is stupid, complicated, inconsistent, irrational, fear-inducing human emotions. We spend so much time talking about how it works. We spend no time talking about how it makes us feel. How does sex make you feel? Good. Sweet. How does sex make you feel? How does sex make you feel?
Fucking great.
Yeah! Look, we have so many different feelings around sex. And some are positive and some can be negative. It's the reason why we have so many different types of sex. Because you and I know there are more types of sex than just baby making sex. There's breakup sex. Yeah? There's bored sex. There's makeup sex. That was last Thursday. You know, there's past sex. Hey. There's future sex. Hey. There's memorable sex. Ain't that right? Nicole, Natalie, Nando's. There's food sex. What other types of sex are there? Just shout it out. Go. So, pissy? What? Petite? Oh, pity sex! Oh, pity sex! Oh, wow. Are you enjoying the show? Am I doing all right? Sweet, I got out of that one. What other types of sex? Go, shout. Quickie. So what? Quickie! A quickie! I love that. Yes, quickie. Very nice. Let's moving on. Next one.
Angry.
Angry and rough at the same time. You guys need to meet. And then look, there's that type of sex that no one wants to talk about.
Drug sex.
Drunk sex. Look. alcohol, or as I like to call it, brain lube. No, but I will mention at this point, because this is a show about consent, drunk sex can lead down to issues of consent. So there needs to, even while you are intoxicated, have two parties very much aligned in their endeavour to have sexual intercourse. I'll bring that point up. But I was going to say that there's a type of sex that we never want to talk about. All right, and that type of sex is gay sex. All right, for those of you who never got that education, let's start from the bottom. I'll fill you in. Okay, so gay sex. We'll start with men first. So when two guys like, oh man, that's kind of what happens. Look, so when two guys like each other and they express informed consent, then one man, the top, sticks his erect penis in the other man, the bottom's bottom. Now, this usually requires a bit of lube and preparation, but it can be incredibly pleasurable for both parties. And even though the sex doesn't result in the making of a baby, you should still protect yourself against sexually transmitted infections by wearing a condom. Now, that's gay sex for men. Now let's talk about women. Similar, a bit different. You just replace thumbs with tongues and dicks with clits and a lot more imagination. If you think it's hot, she's got what you've got, then strap in for liberation. And then I've just explained gay sex to a classroom of students. I just need to check something, alright? Wow, the fabric of society didn't crumble! Right! See, and this, I feel like our generations have been really let down in sex ed. For many of you, that might have been the first time that you have ever, that has ever been just laid out for you like that. So what I want to do at this point of the show is an experiment. Don't worry about the goggles, it's just for the splashback, okay? Now, look, I want to get everyone a little bit more open, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the floor, and you can ask me any question about sex, and I'm going to do my best to answer it. But hey, this is a comedy show, okay? So let's make it interesting. You can ask me any question about my sex life, and I will answer 100% honestly. Go. Look, there's no wrong questions, just boring bits, okay? Anyone?
What age is your youngest girlfriend?
My youngest girlfriend? Or when did I lose my virginity? That I slept with. I do have a propensity for older women. I do like older women. Most of the people I have slept with have been actually older than me. In terms of age gap, it's probably like 3 years and stuff, but that was probably like 2 years ago and stuff. Yeah, there you go. See? Open. Next one. Someone over here. Being a bit quiet over here. Any question about my sex life? Go.
When's the last time you had sex?
The weekend. Anyway, anyone else?
How do you woo a lady?
How do you woo a lady? Well, come on up on stage and I need some help. No, it's okay, it's okay. That's literally not how consent works, okay? Look, how do I woo a lady? Fuck. Some good photos on Tinder. I mean, first date kind of thing, I always like to kind of try and make it interesting, a little bit left of center. I am a big fan of the day date, because I feel like there's no pressure with the day date. If it doesn't go well, they can always go home. If it does go well, you've got the night there to extend and stuff. So I think that's how I would approach, to woo someone I really liked. Anyone else?
Have you had a threesome?
Yes, I have had a threesome and stuff. I knew you looked familiar. Yes. Anyone else?
Has the show ever got you laid?
You like kitty sex? I like responsive audience members. Yes, it has. It has. That's why I'm so eager to get back to Edinburgh Fringe. One more. Let's do one more. Okay, someone off the back. Give me something hard. Okay. One
Has
more.
the hot weather made you feel more like having sex?
Say, the moisture provides a natural lube, I guess. No, because I think sex is really like it warms you up. Like it just gets you overheat, and then you if you had sex in this time, you'd overheat and then faint like Anthony, and just. Thank you. One more.
Have you ever had a finger up your bum?
Hey! Just a finger? Yes, and it is fun, guys. Like we were talking, G-spot, it's up there. So look. On this note, is there any actual questions about sex, or is there different kinds of sex? Oh.
Mr. Buse, I have another question.
Sure, man. Yeah, no, we're doing questions. You can ask one. What's up? Talk to me.
What does BDSM stand for?
Well, BDSM stands for bondage, domination, and submission, and sadomasochism.
But sir, what do those words mean?
Okay, well, bondage means tying people up with chains or rope or glad wrap. Domination and submission refers to different power roles that people take to stimulate excitement, and sadomasochism refers to taking pleasure out of inflicting or receiving pain or humiliation. Kind of like this.
Ow, 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 ow,
Yeah.
ow, 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 ow.
You're gonna learn to love that.
But Mr. Buse, that doesn't sound fun or nice at all.
Touche, Buse. But look, what you're gonna learn when you get a little bit older is that what doesn't kill you only makes you harder.
I'm scared.
Well, that's what safety words are for. Your safety word is baloney. Remember that word, baloney. It'll get you out of a few tricky sexual situations. So I think this Q&A has gone quite well. I'm getting you there. You know, you're quite active now. But what I want to do is open it up a little bit more. Those questions to me, it was a very liberating experience. It's very, I reclaim my shame, and I want you to have that same experience, okay? So I'm going to turn the pages to you, okay? But we're going to do that in a consensual way. So, I have written a song, okay? And in this song, I am going to say a few things that I've done in the bedroom, okay? Now, if you have had the same experience or done the exact same thing, I want you to give just a little anonymous woo! Okay? Yeah? Think of it as a musical game of never have I ever. Right? Now, so let's do a practice, okay? Don't make me send you to the principal's office, okay? So let's do a little practice. I've been spanked. Okay. all right, okay, that's good. Now, unlike Shibari rope fetish, this song only requires one loop. All right, so let's get wooing. I've been whipped, and I've been chained, I've been choked, I've done it in the shower, I've been gagged, and I've been plugged, I've been scratched, I've done an Eiffel Tower. Yeah!
You really got to do that.
Yeah. We'll get there, yeah. I've been cuffed. I've been sat on. I've been tied in propose. I've been teased, forbidden to sneeze. That one was weird. I've been told to suck a toe, but nothing gives me more pleasure and pain than you. Baloney. If we spent a year fighting our fears, experimenting with our bad days, you move in, can't wait to tell my friends. My future wife is such a hot day. I come home and I hear a sound, and I see an unfamiliar face. My heart sinks, need a drink before I go and trash our place, 'cause nothing gives me more pleasure and pain than you. You, how could you? So where did he come from? Why is he here? There's gotta be an answer, couldn't just appear. So give me whips, give me chains, at least then I'll hold the rain. I know what you're all thinking. That was the most depressing song about BDSM I've ever heard, right? And you'd be right. Look, see, BDSM is not just a thing we do, it's a relationship. And like all relationships, they're built on trust. So you come to a comedy show, you trust that the comedian's gonna sing a funny song. Well, gotcha! Just like my ex got me. See, I was raised Catholic, so I was always taught if you masturbate, you'll go blind. And I think there's some truth in that, because my ex cheated on me and I did not see that coming. Heartache. It's the only STI you get where you're not the one having sex. Alright, like a queef at Christmas, I feel like I've killed the mood. Look, but this is the thing, sex ed never prepares us for an adult sexual relationship. How to handle a breakup, how to be a good lover. Who here would have loved the class on red flags? Right? And I think everyone in this room can relate to that on some level. You've been in an adult sexual relationship and you felt neglected or used or just felt true heartache. Woo! I'll give you an example. I'm a pretty forgetful person. You know, I lose things, keys and jackets and what was that, trains of thought. But I never thought I would lose a car. 2 cars to 2 ex-girlfriends. Yeah, my love life is like a Peckham parking lot. These girls just snow patrolled me. I'm just wasting time chasing cars. And these were long-term relationships. This is like 5 years and 1 year. So I'm not afraid of commitment. I'm just afraid of losing assets now. A good mate of mine, Phil, he's really good with finances. He was consoling me after my last breakup and forced car removal. And he was saying, look, I know it seems bad right now, but you gotta look at the bigger picture, you know, like, imagine if you'd stayed with her and you had a kid, you know. A kid is worth like 3.5 cars. So you gotta look at the silver lining. So speaking of silver linings, what is this? Can anyone tell me what it is? 1, 2, 3? Condom, correct. correct, otherwise referred to as a rubber, a wheelie warmer, a cock sock, a safety deposit box, wetsuit, boots, English raincoat, French leather, Venus shirt, and a branger. Now, any more? Any more?
Prophylactic.
A copper, what?
Prophylactic.
Prophylactic, yes, no, thank you.
Johnny.
A Johnny! Oh, yes, I have to add that one. Johnny. Now, we all know what they are. We all know what they are. But why do we still not use them? So, I'm going to open up the floor here. I want you to just shout out an excuse that you've used or someone has used on you to not wear a condom. Go.
Don't have one.
I don't have one.
We're married.
We're married. I mean, you know, this is a good thing. If you are committed to someone and you are looking to have a baby, you don't need one of these. So I'm more talking in the more like casual sex in the singledom kind of area. All right. What are some other excuses?
My dick's too big.
I love how you put your hand up. This is a show about sex. No hands, just fists. What was the one over there?
My dick's too big.
Okay. Oh look, this is a regular size answer condom. This is what I use. Yes, regular. Who asked you? Fuck off. Now look. So this is a regular size condom. Let's just see how much it fits. Oh, just 1 second. Oh, hey kids! I'm Mr. Condom! Wow, who's over there? Oh, hi! I'm Papa Smear! I haven't seen you in ages! That's because I only turn up every 2 to 3 years just to make sure everything's okay. Wow, I'm on call 24/7! I love my job. Alright, so that's too big, you're married. Any other excuses? Can't come? Doesn't feel good?
Doesn't feel good.
Doesn't feel good. Here's an interesting fact about the condom. It dates back to the ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians used to use sewn up sheep intestine as a prophylactic. Alright? The ancient Romans used muscle tissue of warriors they defeated in battle as a condom. So when people say it doesn't feel good, I just say, could be a lot worse. Imagine if you were vegan. But look, I think the main reason why we think condoms, why we don't use them, is because we don't think they're sexy. They're just not sexy. If they were, you'd see them in porn, but no one here has Googled condom porn. So I think we can change this through marketing, okay? Worked for cigarettes in the tobacco industry, very unsexy product, they made it sexy. If you can work for Camel cigarettes, why not for another hump? So what I'm gonna do is try and make condoms sexy again. The only way I know how, through segues, songs, okay? So this next song is entitled, I'm Bringing Sexy Sack. Woo! Now, you know what I do, I always like to perform everything live, but because this is a song about condoms, I've come prepared. Alright, let's see how long this takes. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seconds, how inconvenient. Don't be alone now. Cover your boner. Don't be in such a jiffy. Wrap up your slippy. If you are and you don't have a car, and the blues is flowing and you're feeling outgoing, and you see a pretty girl across the floor. With your liquid courage and your wingman hair, you walk over to the maiden fair and say, oh, won't you please take me home? That's a Guns N' Roses song. She looks you in the eye and to your surprise, this lady is straight up in the confident guise, and she's a massive fan of curly hair. And I'm talking down there. But sooner or later you use the locator to find an Uber cause you want to touch her boot, yeah. And then you take her home. Oh, you have another drink and then you sink into your dinner. Now you gotta do her.
forgotten your condom. You say, fuck it, I'll just fuck it. It's wrong, but I haven't had it in so long. So you get it on. Oh. Oh. So it's 2 weeks later, you're a masturbator, you're pulling one out and blood comes out. That really escalated quickly. So you go to the doctor to get some tests, hoping they can find that you are blessed, and you kick yourself for what you've done. You wait a week, the worst week of your life, trying to figure out how you're gonna tell your wife. Then you get a call from the clinic. Hello?
You've got chlamydia, gonorrhea, HPV, hepatitis, herpes, and HIV, syphilis, trichomoniasis, warts, and crabs.
But it was only one night.
It's a really unlucky first case we've seen where a person's contracted every STD.
Why are you Russian?
I'm sorry, that'll be $60.
I just wanted the Netflix and chill. I'm not fucking chill. So your life's been changed by one stupid mistake, and now your wife wants to have a break. And you get a call from the girl who started it all.
I don't know how to tell you, but I'm 2 months late. You gotta be a daddy, wanna go on a date?
How could this possibly get worse? It does. You go on a date to accept your fate. You're dancing at a party, she admits she's a Nazi. Soon you'll be the father of a Hitler youth. If you think that's funky, dress up your monkey. A crank with armor will never harm ya. You gotta rap before you tap it, before you tap it. Got no glove, no love. Don't be silly, rock your willy. If you can't shield your rocket, then you leave it in your pocket. You're not gonna sack it, then go home and whack it. Stitch that switch, the extra niche, deliver it to go. Now you cool, no rubber, no lover. Don't take much money to catch your honey. Don't be a prick, just cover your dick. Whoa, whoa. So you don't become a Nazi. For the person who said how to pick up a woman. There you go. Wow. Alright, look, that song, it's ridiculous. It would never happen. A doctor would make you come in to get results. And then they'd say, thank you for coming in. It's no big deal. Here's some cream, here's some pills. Thank you for being a responsible adult. Have a lollipop. Okay? And so, like a penis, I think it's time to wrap this up. Okay? So, no class would be finished without a little bit of homework. Alright? Now, a lot of people will ask me, because I am a sex educator, what do you think the most important lesson about sex education is? And I didn't really know until I started developing this show. And I realized, as I was writing lyrics among the flood of #MeToo posts that were filling up my feed, I realized, like you did, at the start of this show, that in 12 years of all-boys private Catholic education, I did not once receive any training in consent. And if it wasn't for strong female role models in my life, like my mum, and my older sister, and Miranda, and Charlotte, and Karen, and Samantha, I wouldn't know what kind of guy I'd be like today. So, your homework is this. So, some of you here tonight are parents. Hands up, parents? Yep. Yep, cool. Some of you here are teachers. Yeah, hands up, teachers. Yeah. Some of you here might be future parents. Some of you just know a kid, okay?
So what I want you to do is just have a casual conversation with that kid. Just make sure that they know that their body is theirs, it's okay to say no, and they know that no means no. Yes? Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And look, if you think that's an awkward conversation to have, sure. But just remember, it was way more awkward for me when I had to explain what anal beads was to my mum when she saw the show. And if you do your homework well, this is the consequence. That kid's gonna grow up, and someone will inevitably come up to them and they'll say, "Hey, can I fuck you?" And they'll remember your lesson, and they will feel empowered to say, "No, it's may I fuck you?" And then they'll give an answer, and it is respected. So, look, if there are any more questions, just shout out. Any more questions? No?
Excuse me, Mr. Buse.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, what's up?
But I still have so many questions about sex. Like, why do I get an erection every time I see a babushka doll?
Don't worry, it's a phase, you'll get over it. Look, Fran, I know it's, sex is great. It's exciting, it's invigorating, it's emotional, it's a little scary when you forget the safety word, but most of the time, it is just swell, and you are going to have a wonderful experience learning on the job. But I will leave you with this piece of advice from the world's best... He's the world's leading sex education educator, Albus Dumbledore. It's our choices that make us who we truly are, far more than our abilities. And I tell you what, Grant, I'll be honest with you, man. Things aren't always going to go your way, and you may not always get the bird. You sure as hell got the beats. Birds and the bees. Call back. Birds and the bees. Sing it. This is how we do it. So let me tell you something a little bit eerie. Kids today can learn about sex by asking Siri. They can figure out the ins and outs of cunnilingus. Quick Google search, the powers in the fingers. That's a lesson for another day. I got 2 minutes left, I got a lot to say. See, it's hard to keep up with this constant stream of information. Double click for sexy pick and grab your dick for masturbation. Kids already know porn on tap, see pretty scary. Except remember the days you looked up dick in the dictionary. Dictionary. And in this modern world of ours, we don't need sex ed. What's far more important is to teach respect and respect education, teaching boys respect for women. It really makes me angry how that hasn't been again. No, knowledge is power. Kids should never have the fear of being lesbian, gay, bi, trans, intersex, or queer. And if you are confused, you shouldn't need to hide. Are you in for a time kids can stand up with pride? Respectfully communicate their sexual desires and be safe so they don't feel on fire. And no matter if the buff, delicious thick skin, it is ever feel sexy in the skin they're in. Because most of all, they need to respect themselves. Because if they don't, how can they let respect somebody else? Have sex for fun, experiment, go wild. Trust me, spice and sex will always beat them out. And one more thing before I leave. If you're gonna get down, you wear a latex sleeve. Because if you don't, this just might be you giving the talk about the birds and the bees. 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 Join it. When I say penis, you say vagina. Penis. Vagina. Penis. Vagina. When I say vagina, you say penis. Vagina. Penis. Vagina. Penis. When I say this is, you say heteronormative. This is. When I say commitment, you say maybe. Commitment. Maybe. Commitment. Maybe. When I say pussy, you say pussy. Pussy. When I say no, you say yes. No. No. Congratulations, you've all passed the